During this presentation, I will be sharing how I would go about improving the relationship between Edeline Brewery and Pizzeria and the Tasman Cup Pennants competition. Last year, the relationship between the two was a sponsorship deal, where Edeline Brewery paid for their brand name to be advertised on the players' shirts for the duration of the Tasman Cup Pennants. I would like to change the agreement between the two parties from a simple sponsorship that doesn't have much benefit to either side to an agreement of partnership where both sides will get plenty of exposure through different avenues and have good flow-on effects. Also, the game of golf will get a boost in the area through a different style competition where fans can be up to date with how their team is going and what players are performing well. To change this agreement into a win-win-win, I would start by approaching Edeline Brewery. I would first approach the company by phone to thank them for their support and ask if I could sit down with them and discuss how the relationship between the brewery and the Tasman Cup Pennants is going. At this meeting, I would be looking to get as much information from Edeline Brewery on what they liked, disliked, and thought about how the relationship was going. Find out whether they are bringing new products out, how their business is going, do they have any ideas on making the relationship between them and Tasman Cup better suit them. This meeting, I feel, is about getting a good idea of what can be done to improve the relationship from their side. At the end of this meeting, I would discuss sending a draft document through to them for looking at which would outline some new ideas around a partnership instead of a sponsorship deal. In an email, I would send information through and ask if the brewery could reply with some adjustments and feedback on the draft proposal. If the brewery comes back and is happy with the draft, then it can be finalised and move forward. If they are not, then some work needs to be done to meet their ideas. However, this is a partnership and both parties need to agree. Once both parties have agreed, then a final document can be written up for both parties to sign and start to move forward for a successful partnership. During this process, for the first and second approach, I feel they need to be made by either the club president or an official from Tasman Cup. This person needs to back up the ideas and details that are being offered. The person needs to be good with people and great at communicating. The other approaches, however, can be done by the same person, or at least that person have knowledge of the communication, as are mainly done by email. There is not a need for the initial person to be doing the communication, just to have knowledge. The final approach with a new agreement should be made by the initial person and another esteemed member or player from the Tasman Cup Pennants to add a nice little touch. The first approach will be made to the person who has been in control of the sponsorship deal from the year before. If this person is not the owner of the company, then it would be great to get the owner for the meeting to get their ideas as well. If possible, the rest of the communication should be made to either one or both of these people. Making an effort with the owner is important, as they're ultimately the ones investing in the Tasman Cup. The final approach and presenting the final agreement needs to be with the owner or someone representing the owner, so the agreement is formal and committed to. I would present the formal new agreement at the brewery, to the brewery via email, before discussing in person for both parties to sign the agreement. I would present at dinner and maybe a month or two before the season starts, so that all players know who is supporting them and can give them maximum exposure. I would send the final proposal for the new agreement through by email, and ask to have a formal meet and greet, and maybe at their brewery where we would sign the agreement and move forward from there. I would present the formal new agreement at the brewery as they are a local company and their business is food. I would quickly point out that the agreement is as discussed, and I wish the partnership to be long and successful. Golfers like to eat, drink, and socialise, so the partnership with the brewery and pizzeria is perfect for the golfers, as they will use the facilities well and return under their own steam as with their families on other occasions.